night to play against your own guys.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, it is another weekend, like Coach just said, So I'm approaching it the same way. Looking forward to seeing my guys and going back to Plainsman. But at the end of the day, we still have business to handle. So.
Have you given?
Could you step into the mic just a touch?
Yes, sir.
Have you given tips on like how to play the outfield there and stuff like that?
I need to talk to DC about left field because it is different with the wall, but I haven't talked to any of them yet. Not yet.
Is it kind of unique playing out there defensively?
The left field is with like the monster and like how it bounces off, and then left center is kind of deep with like it like juts out kind of. But aside from that, it's pretty straight up.
How do you compartmentalize that? Like going up against your old teammates, and I mean, are you gonna say hi, or are you gonna just wait till the series is over and then do all that? Like, have you thought about it?
Yeah, no, I'm close with those guys, really close with them. So I'm gonna speak to them, probably before every game. But once the game starts, it's play ball. So and the team's relying on me, and it's the game. So I gotta play hard for LSU.
and the work is the work, and that makes it easier to just forget about everything else.
Yes, sir.
Chris, you lead the team in the SEC played hitting. You hit 375. What's kind of turned it on for you? What's the progress?
Yeah, coming here, my number one goal was prioritizing hitting and developing at the plate. And, Coach Johnson and Chief and Simp and the whole staff's done a great job with me. And, really just believing in my training, like starting off the season, I've started much better than I have in years past, so very thankful for that. But, I still knew there was a next gear, and once conference play hit, just believing in myself and the training and the work, and also my faith, just, kind of turning it on with that.
The value of having a consistent hitter, specifically in that 9-hole, to kind of turn things over, or even, in your case, dry batters in the last couple of weeks. Just talk about, how you approach that role and just kind of what benefit you've gotten out of hitting in the 9-hole.
Yeah, for sure. In my career, I've kind of hit all over the lineup, so I've had experience, and then Coach Johnson, putting me there, just I'm doing really whatever the team needs me to, and with our lineup, like you said, it gives me opportunity to drive in runs and also set the table sometimes. So it's a lot of fun because we have a lot of talented guys.
Because you've been through the SEC so much, I'm saying the SEC is easier for you, but you know the personnel better? You've been through
Yeah, I'm definitely feel prepared this year going into every conference series, and the coaches do a great job of preparing us and talking with the guys as well. We talk a lot as a position player core and a lineup on how to attack guys. So we work together and it works out.
We don't think of this often when it comes to the number 9-hole hitter, but do you think Derek provides some protection for you there?
No doubt.
Tough spot.
No doubt.
Coach, you just talking about the lineup with the guys. Coach, earlier when we talked about the bottom of the order and the lead specifically, just the job that you guys are able to do, and really kind of 1 through 9, really, there's no easy outs, right? Is that something you guys talk about and verbalize as well, taking pride, as far as keeping this thing rolling?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we believe we're the best offense in the country. I'll be straight up and say it. So, yeah, we take a lot of pride in that.
So how did you get 2 hits on skates? Really? How did you do it?
Honestly, yeah. In both of my ABs, he fell behind, believe it or not, and I knew I would get one fastball to hit, and with a guy like that, you can't miss it. So, it was a great day.
Are you, I guess, going up against a pitcher like that, are you knowing okay, this pitch, regardless, I'm swinging just because by the time it comes off his hand, there's really not a whole lot of time to make a decision?
Nah. He throws hard, but you still have time at the end of the day. It's about getting started. But, with guys like that, you have one pitch. You're going to get one pitch over the plate, and you can't miss it.
Do you notice pitchers throwing to you differently depending on who's starting at third base that day ahead of you in the lineup?
That's a good question. Not really, not too standout. I've been getting a lot of off speed, so I guess no matter who's in front of me, they're both been playing really well. So just hitting with guys on base, I've kind of been getting pitched differently than if I'm leading off an inning.
Is that, or do you feel like that's by design to try to offset your speed?
Probably, yeah. Just keep me off base.
This is kind of random, but Mikey Braswell last year hit the walk-off against South Carolina. Have y'all talked about maybe, what could be for you this weekend?
That would be awesome. No, man, we haven't. Yeah, but that would be awesome for sure. We're on the road though, so, but yeah.
How do you guys kind of avoid complacency? You go in 31 or 34 games, and maybe it sets in or creeps in a little bit, and you think about how good you are. How do you avoid that?
Yeah, Coach Johnson does a great job of just holding us accountable. And even before the game yesterday, actually, that's funny you say that. He was like, we've been playing so well. Like, don't take any game for granted, because they all count the same. So really just believing in that. And we don't want to lose. So, we got to bring it because we know everyone wants to beat us. So.
With Derek, 34 games in a row he's gotten on base. Just
Oh, wow.
That's unique for any player, but for a freshman to come in and to adjust the way that he has at the plate, just what does something like that tell you about what a special hitter or offensive player he is and can be?
Yeah, I think I had an interview before the season, and I said he's probably has the best hands I've ever seen and one of the best hitters I've ever seen. So I didn't even know that, but that doesn't surprise me at all. He's the man. I didn't.
It seems like you like to pull the ball, or at least that's where a lot of the balls go. Is that purposeful, or is that just the product of your swing?
Yeah, it's just really kind of what, honestly, I don't know. It's just kind of been how it's going recently.
What was the process like, the conversations between you and coach, maybe between moving you from leadoff to the 9th spot? You've been there really ever since you moved initially.
Yes, sir. It was really just about what the best lineup and what the team needs. So it wasn't any back and forth. It was just, I was here, and I've honestly, kind of settled in nicely. Like, it's, knowing where I'm going to be and in center field and in the 9-hole, like that provides comfortability. And, I know my job, so I'm able to go out there and do it.
Do you think your quick hands is one of the best parts of your swing?
No doubt. Yes, sir. And, just twitch.
And why do you think teams are throwing more off-speed to you lately?
I'm not really sure, honestly. Probably just, I don't know.
Describe what Coach Johnson got together you when you transferred the contact and how the conversations go. He call you, you call him. What happened?
Say it again? I'm
When
sorry.
you transferred here, the conversations with Coach Johnson, you come here, did he call you, you call him? What was that like?
Yeah, I entered the transfer portal after the season last year, and he contacted me, yes, sir, once I was in the portal.
Were you surprised?
No, sir.
Did LSU call? You surprised LSU called?
Say it
You
again?
were surprised LSU called?
No, sir.
What do you say about that? He said that you were one of his favorite players just from afar.
Yeah, LSU is I always knew, playing in the league, I played LSU for 2 years, and we came here last year, so I knew the environment was amazing. And then I always knew Coach Johnson produced really great hitters, and he always was a winner. So, when he called me, I was very interested.
Earlier in the week, Jay said that if you've got a problem with Chris, you're the problem. I don't know if you heard that or not, but how important was it for you to assimilate and really fit in here? And what do you think is maybe the most rewarding part about making the transfer over and being at LSU?
Yeah, coming here, I really I wanted to be in a place where I could be myself more than anything. And I felt like Coach Johnson, when I first talked to him, he was, a guy that really understood me and could allow me to be myself. So coming here, I kind of knew Bear and Braz and guys from just the circuit and growing up. So, and just from playing against them as well. And then coming in, immediately meeting guys like DC, guys like Casan, freshman, Schmidt, and just I feel like at the beginning we were all meshing, from the start. So, and then being an older guy too that had been in the league, I didn't want to come in and act over the top, but just, find my way and get cool with everyone. And I feel like, as the seasons come along and, it's just been easier to filter in and meet everyone and be cool.
Is that maybe your leadership style, just kind of subtle,
Yes, sir.
little things?
Yes, sir. Just kind of by example.
You've seen the picture of Jared in front of the porta potty, right?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
What's I don't even know how to follow this up, but was that just kind of a funny little moment for the guys? It seems like
Yeah, that was pretty funny to see on the ground.
All right, we're good with Chris?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
All
thanks,
right,
Chris.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Before you say anything. The Tony V look, come on, is that intentional or is that just something you always
No, I mean, it wasn't intentional, and I didn't even think about it when I first started doing it until, like, I saw some stuff on the internet, but not intentional. I just thought it was the best look for me. I came in and I had the mustache, or I would go no facial hair, and I was like, I look like too much of a baby, so I'm going to grow out a beard. And then a couple weeks in, somebody said it, like, go look at Instagram. So I went and looked, and people were saying it, but it's not intentional at all.
Maybe get a selfie when he's here in a couple of weeks.
Probably not.
Hell of a Halloween costume.
What'd you do yesterday? Because you didn't travel, right?
Correct, yeah, I didn't travel. So the starters didn't travel, the weekend starters, and me and Zach didn't travel. So we all went over to Aunt Kate Anderson's house and watched the game and just chilled out there. So that was pretty much it.
Is that weird, just watching the game?
Yeah, it was. It was my first time. And, like, I would, even if I played in high school, like, pitched, and I wasn't playing the next game, I would travel. So being able to do that, I think it was a cool experience, but I kind of like being in the dugout better, just being there and being able to cheer on my teammates.
Did you get some extra sleep? Was that part of the reason? Just
Yeah, that was. Coach Yeski had called me and he said, we're going to have you stay home, so try and get some rest. So game ended and I went home and went right to bed and talked to my roommates this morning. They were like, yeah, we got home at like 1 a.m. And I was like, oh, thank God I stayed home.
You get to
Is
second
it
guess
more
umpires
stressful?
watching TV? Did you like second guess umpires? You're like, that's an awful call.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, it just depends. Like, it's harder on TV because you're not there in the moment, and TV can be a little deceptive. But, yeah, I was doing that last night for sure.
Yeah, is it more stressful watching them play on TV as opposed to in the dugout?
Yeah, I would say so because we're at home and we didn't score until the 7th inning, and like it's kind of hard to feel the emotions that are going on in the dugout because usually when you're in the dugout you can tell if like your team's still in it or not. So being at home, just like cheering them on and not knowing what's happening in the dugout was kind of hard for me.
What's the season been like for you, I guess, up until this point? How do you feel like you've handled the successes and failures so far?
I think it's been great. Successes and failures, they come and go. So, I mean, failures, you learn from it. I think that's the best, thing to learn from is when you fail. So, there haven't been many failures. I'm hoping there's not many to come. But I feel like it's been going very well.
Is it more important to handle the successes in the right way? Because, like you said, you can always learn from failures, but, successes tend to, make you think that you're running hot, or doing things the right way.
Right. Yeah. I think I've learned from it throughout the season. When I first got the ball, I think I was a little too excited after I would pitch or finish the game, and then I've kind of mellowed down from there. And I think just learning how to do that and learning how to control my emotions is not only better for me, but it's better for the team.
How has kind of falling into a routine, it seems like it's been you and Anthony kind of carrying the game too the last couple of weeks. Does that help you as a pitcher? I mean, knowing that this is kind of maybe the slot that you've been pegged the last couple of weeks, and kind of just what does that, I guess, mean?
Yeah, I mean, it gets my mind ready. Mentally, I'm knowing that I'm going to throw this weekend. I don't know where, so it could be any day. I know, so that it's not really a set routine, but I have been going in after him. But when we were at Texas, I went in after Chase, so it's kind of all over the place. But if I were to know that I was going in that game, then it wouldn't change much, but it would change just a little bit.
Does it take some time? I imagine you were a starter in high school, right? Does it take some time to get used to that idea that you have a role, but it's not going to be defined this day, or did it take some mental gymnastics for you to kind of accept that?
It did. It did. In the fall, when I would go in later in the games, when we were doing scrimmages, I was kind of mad that I wasn't starting, but then I realized that Coach has these guys in this position for a reason, and so I trust what he does. But when the season started, it did take some mental gymnastics. I mean, I was all over the place in my head, just not knowing how to go about the game because I wasn't starting. So being able to be put in these positions day after day, I mean, it's gotten so much easier for me to find a routine and stick to it.
Is that it? Is it the routine and the prep time needed to get ready faster?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, before the game, I'll do my normal stuff and throw, but I know that I'm going to go in and somewhere between the 5th to the 7th, if I'm relieving. So just being able to go down there like in the third or the fourth and start warming up and stuff like that has really helped me.
Do you and Zach almost kind of view yourselves as fourth and fifth starters, given how much y'all have pitched in these games the last couple weekends? I mean, you're throwing 60, he's throwing 60, 65. Just does that, I guess, kind of help you mentally, knowing that you're going to get an extended outing kind of thing when you do go in the game?
Well, I'm not very sure if I'm going to get an extended outing. It could be for 2 innings, and coach could put somebody else in. So, like, my mindset isn't that, like, I'm a fourth or fifth starter. It's that I'm going to close out that inning. So even if I was the start, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to close out the first inning. It's just kind of how my mind works and what they've taught us here.
You're not an empty the tank guy. I mean, that's not your approach either, right?
No.
Did you have to redefine value? Kind of like what your value was? Like we were talking about a minute ago, like going from, like there's just as much value in those last 3 innings as there are in those first 3 innings?
Correct, yeah. I talked with Coach Johnson, and he was like, this is where I put our best guys in the game. And he said that before. And now seeing it, I truly do believe that is a big spot to be put in, no matter what the game is like, if it's a close game or a big game, because it can get out of hand quick. So him being able to put me and Zach there, I think, has really gained trust for him with us, and it's given us confidence.
You and William ever compare notes, just freshmen, like how you guys are handling things, and just the success you guys are having?
Yeah, we all do. All 4 of us do. We try to get together as much as possible and just talk about the game and see what everybody's thinking. We try to help each other out, even before the game or during the game. If somebody's about to go down the bullpen, I'll talk with one of them shortly, or they'll come talk to me, stuff like that. So I think that's really helped us grow and mature in this game. And also being a freshman, it's kind of hard because you have a lot of weight on your back. So just being able to do that has helped us out immensely.
You mentioned watching the TV can be a little deceptive as a pitcher watching from that angle. What do you see from William last night, just in terms of how he looked on the mound from that angle?
I think he pitched really well. I think it was one of his better outings. Just not being there was kind of hard because I usually talk to him after the inning, see what he was thinking. But when I saw him out there on the TV after the first inning, I was like, all right, he's fine. He's settled in. Like, he's not thinking on the mound. He's just going out there and competing.
How big of a confidence boost going to Norman and putting out the pitching staff as a whole, what y'all did against one of the best offenses, and now going on the road against Auburn?
I think it was a big confidence boost. But I know it's hard to do, to use 5 pitchers on a weekend. So it's not going to happen every weekend. So everybody has to be ready to go in, and they're going to get their chance to pitch this weekend. I do believe that. But it was a big confidence boost for the pitching staff as a whole.
You're talking a lot about your whole mental approach and some of the adjustments that you've had to make since you've come here, and already talked about Carlene in terms of helping you on the mound after that Missouri game, I think. So what other ways has she sort of helped you sort of like lock in on all the things they want you to lock in here mentally?
It's kind of just a stick to your routine type deal. She checks in with us, I want to say once a week. She'll send us like a group text and we'll respond separately. So just her checking in with us and making sure our routine is the same is very helpful.
Do you feel like you're a stronger pitcher now than, say, when you in fall you said you were trying to figure out how to navigate coming into the game in the 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever inning it may have been? You feel like you're a stronger pitcher now because of you just having to go through the motions of figuring that out?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say like I've been able to stick to a routine, and just knowing how to do things, I think it makes my life easier. So, I mean, if you were to see me in the fall compared to now, it'd be night and day difference. Maybe not a stuff-wise, but just pitchability, being able to hit my spots and locate and stuff like that.
Does it help with like on the fly scout too? Of like, you know, if they sub in a pitch hitter, like is it helping you be able to really sort of adapt to whatever the scout is for that particular batter?
I would say so. I haven't really been put in that position where if they sub in a pinch hitter, then I'm in. They've kind of just started a new inning with me, which I'm very fortunate for. I know some of our guys have gone in if they put a pinch hitter in, so I haven't really been able to do that.
How's Coach Yeski doing?
He's great. I haven't talked to him. I mean, I talked to him a little bit yesterday. I haven't seen him today though, but I think he's doing well.
Like over this past weekend, like how was he doing and sort of dealing with everything he's had to deal with?
I mean, it was rough for him. He lost a family member, and more importantly, he lost his dad. So I think being able to get through that game on Thursday was really big for him, and it really brought him joy knowing that his dad was watching over him coach that game.
Did you think the team could be this good? First practice you went to, first time you guys were all together?
I did. I really did, because I knew that we had a lot of chemistry going into the fall. Everybody just connected as soon as they got here. So that being able to happen, I think, is a big thing for any team. Chemistry is huge when you have a team.
Chris has got a mental challenge maybe this week going back to Auburn, I guess. Just what kind of guy is he, teammate has he been for you? He doesn't seem like the loudest guy in the locker room, so I'm sure it's a different style of leadership.
It is a different style of leadership, but he's been a great teammate. I mean, I couldn't ask for somebody better. I've never seen him in a bad mood. He's always smiling, always happy. Even on the field, like, makes a catch, he's cheering on our team. Like, he gets us hype. So him being able to do that, he not so much a leader in the role you're thinking, but in different ways, he does really well of doing that.
His speed in the outfield has got to feel comfortable as a pitcher too, knowing he can track down most balls put in the air anywhere in that kind of center field, left center field, the right center field area, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Him and Derek's really fast, and no matter who we put in right field, anybody's got speed. If it's Jake, Josh, Larson, it could be anybody. I'm real comfortable with our outfield. I think we truly could have 3 center fielders go play in the major leagues.
How about the job Derek's doing? 34 on base straight. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah, I had seen it on online, and I think I wouldn't expect anything more. I mean, he's been doing a great job about his work, stuff like that. He's just a natural player, natural hitter. So he's hard to get out. I faced him a couple times in the fall, and I was like, this dude's going to be impossible to get out during the season, and he's kind of proven it. I mean, 34 games on base is, I think it's got to be a record, but for him to be able to do that his freshman year just tells you what's to come next year.
When you guys are coming in, did you freshmen have conversations with each other about what realistic expectations individually maybe for each of you guys were, and maybe what sort of impact you could have, and has it played out?
Yeah, we did. We kind of, not one-on-one conversations, we kind of talked as a group, and we were all just like, whatever coach asks of us, that's what we're going to do to the best of our ability, because we knew that it was going to be hard to get a starting spot or even get a lot of innings this year. So just being able to be there and cheer on your teammates, I think, is a big thing. Even if I wasn't in this position of playing often, I would just be in the dugout cheering on my teammates, not pouting or anything. So
How's Gavin recovering, and what's he been like as a Buccaneer for the last few weeks?
I'm not sure on the recovery part. It's not for me to tell. But him being in my year and being able to coach me in certain situations, I think has been really good for me.
How important is it for you guys to find a left-handed option out of the bullpen in these weekend games?
Very important for matchups, things like that. I think Cooper Williams has done good. DJ will be coming back, so I think he'll do really good if we need him this weekend. Just left-handed pitchers in general are very hard to find, especially ones at SEC level. So just being able to go in the bullpen and have one of them come in the game, I think, is a big game changer.
All good?
All right. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Jason.